Hi guys, my name is Gabriel and today I'll be filming a video with the title Things to Do Around Sunway Pyramid, and this video is targeted for student audiences. So we'll be trying out student-friendly activities that are cost-efficient as well as activities that everyone can do. So we're gonna go to the activity spot now. I'll update you there later. Guys, we're at the ice skating now and look at the queue. So yeah, pro tip, come on the weekdays, not the weekends, because there will be a lot of people. Yo. The prices on weekdays are 25 ringgit, whereas on weekends the tickets cost 30 ringgit for a 2-hour session. Okay, so now we have to go get our shoes and look at the line. Oh my goodness.
Just for the shoes?
Yeah, just for the shoes. It's a too far line, so it like turns back around there. So we start here. Oh my god. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I get to spend my time with you.
Wait, this is for my assignment. Are you excited to ice skate?
Yeah.
Why?
It's fun, right?
Okay, what about you, Mara? Okay, he has no voice because he lost his voice, so yeah. Remember to bring your socks and your glove or else you'll pay extra. So remember, because these two geniuses didn't bring their gloves, they bought gloves from Mr. DIY, which were $2.80 for two gloves, like two pairs.
So like $1.
So yeah. So you guys, if you forget to bring your gloves, do go to Mr. DIY. It's very nearby and go and get your gloves. So we got our skates and we got the VIP ones, which are leather, and the VIP ones are only 5 ringgit extra. Whereas the blue color ones that you'll see, the generic skates, which are made out of plastic, those actually hurt your feet more than these do. So I recommend upgrading to these. So they also provide lockers for you to keep your things, because you can't bring like your belongings on the ice. So they actually provide lockers, which is really good as well. So basically, to move forward, you just gotta kick your left leg and put pressure on the right, and vice versa, and keep a good momentum to keep moving forward. So ice skating is actually a very fun activity to do. As you can see, most of the target market are students, you know, young kids to teenagers to young adults. And it's a really fun thing to do with either your friends or your family. So I recommend you come and bring someone to join you. Here's a short clip of me and my friends skating because we can't actually bring our devices onto the ice. So we only could stand outside and record. So here's a clip of me and that same friend skating closer to the camera now, and he's holding my hand not because we're homo, but because I'm just the worst at balancing myself. So yeah, it's really fun if you bring a friend along, not only to have fun, but to balance yourself as well. Make sure to bring a friend who's decent at ice skating, or they'll just be as useless as I am on the ice.
Here's me picking Gabriel up because he sucks at ice skating and he can barely move.
Viewer discretion is advised when watching this clip. So another tip, guys, is to come earlier in your session, as during the middle to the end of the session, the ice is really gonna get really slippery and watery. Like you can see here, they are literally skating in puddles of water. So how do you find ice skating?
He's asking the guy that has no voice.
How do you find ice skating?
It was quite difficult because, you know, it's a new environment, but overall it's really good. It's a fun experience.
I see. Very cool. So how many times did we fall today?
Once.
Okay, and why was that?
Because we were going too fast, you know.
Yeah, so don't speed, kids. Why?
Because you end up like Paul Walker.
So this is a skate shop located adjacent to the ice rink, and you guys can come here to find equipment to go ice skating or even to ask about coaching sessions for ice skating. Alright, next activity is archery, and I didn't film an intro for this activity, but you guys can see from the price sheet here, it's quite affordable and quite worth it, especially for students. The earliest evidence of archery dates back to the late Paleolithic period, around 10,000 BC, when the Egyptian and neighbouring Nubian cultures used bows and arrows archery for the purposes of hunting and warfare. The earliest people known to have regularly used bows and arrows were the ancient Egyptians. So before you start, they'll ask you which hand you want to shoot with, and they'll put on the guards for your arm as well as your fingers so that you don't hurt yourself while shooting arrows. So after putting on your archery guard, you'll have to wait for a couple of minutes until the person before you finishes, And they have a really nice waiting area here where you can just chill with your friends and look at the current archers playing. As you can see, it's quite entertaining as well. So before you start, there will be a staff there to actually teach you how to shoot the bow and arrows. So you don't have to worry about having pre-existing skills, as they can teach you from scratch over here. Their explanation is pretty understandable and thorough, and you don't have to worry about being a noob, because they're actually really patient even if you completely do not know how to shoot a bow. Okay, the goal is to hit the bullseye, which is the yellow. So yeah, archery is actually pretty fun, but I actually really suck at this game, as you can see from my scoreboard. But nonetheless, I still had fun because I was doing it with my friends. So you should definitely bring some friends or family over so you don't feel as bored and lonely when you're doing it alone. So basically, you go to the two same colors on the right and the one different color to your side, and you grip the string, then you grip the green part, you pull. Yes. So as you can see in my scoreboard, I'm actually really inconsistent, but with good practice you can actually become more consistent and hit more of the yellow space rather than not even in the circle at all. Like you can see here, it's not even in the square of the circles at all. The mess. All the messy arrows 3 and 4. You can see on the TV. I hit a lot that are like outside the circle. Oh my god. Yeah, and a lot on the floor as well. So on to the next activity. We are going bowling this time. Sunway Mega Lanes is always crowded, and you should always call ahead to ask if they have tournaments and if the lanes are fully booked. For students, you can get a student price of 5 ringgit and 50 cents if you present your student ID, whereas if you don't have a student ID or if you're going on the weekends or public holidays, you have to pay for a price of 14 ringgit. Shoe rental is 3 ringgit, which is compulsory, and if you don't have your socks, you can buy a pair for 3 ringgit and 50 cents. So these are the plastic balls, and they are the in-house balls that are provided. As you can see, there are many of them, and these plastic balls typically just go straight, and they're labeled with numbers, and these numbers are in pounds. So as the number gets bigger, the ball gets heavier, which is general logic. So you can see this is 13 pounds, this is 15 pounds. So if you're more like a weak person, you can go for a lighter ball, like maybe 10 pounds. But if you're a more strong person, you can go for a heavier one, like 15. Well, in my knowledge, it starts from 8 pounds and all the way up to 15 pounds. But in some certain bowling alleys, there are bigger ones. So it really depends on the bowling alley you're bowling at. See, this hook ball has a symbol here that demonstrates the core. And so does this. It has a hook to demonstrate where the core is, so that the drillers don't drill the holes at the core. Whereas normal house balls like this, they don't have any mark or what sort to signify the cores, as there are no cores in them. So these balls just go straight. Whereas these balls with the marks, they actually hook, which means they spin on the lane. So the cores will spin in the opposite direction, and the balls will spin in the other direction to form a curved ball. So normal ball, and try throw straight, not hook this time. So as you can see, when you throw straight, the ball goes straight. But in this case, he didn't aim properly, so the ball went that side. But generally, the balls are supposed to just flow straight, like that one. Yeah, so you have to aim really good to throw straight. So you can see, yeah, that's a straight ball. Here's me throwing a straight ball, and although it's not aimed properly, at least I'm not as bad as the guy beside me. So now Aiden's going to try hook the ball, which means he's going to rotate the ball as he releases it, so that the ball curves as it goes down the lane. You can see how the ball hits the pins at an angle, whereas if you just throw straight, the balls will hit the pins straight up. Over here you can clearly see the differences of a straight ball versus a hook ball. So on the right you can see how the ball went straight, whereas on the left the ball is curving and hitting the pins at an angle. I'd be wondering how the balls come back up here. Well, let me show you. Basically the machine, once you throw balls there, the machine will drop the balls and you'll come through this tunnel and come out like that ball just did. So as you can see, one frame is divided into two on the top, and the bottom number will be the total of the two frames on top. So you'll get your total number for the whole frame. So each frame you'll see there's two numbers and then the main number at the bottom. And as you can see, the line will only appear on the second frame, as you only can score a spare on your second round, which means you managed to hit all the pins on your second throw. Whereas the X only appears as 1 on the whole frame, as X means you strike, which means you scored all the pins on the first round itself, so you don't have to go for a second round. So this is Aiden scoring a strike, which means he hits all the pins in the first round, as you can see there. In this game, Aiden did not score all the pins in his first throw, so he had to go back for a second round to score that last pin in order to get a spare. In here you can see how he scored that last standing pin on his second round, which means he got a spare. Bowlers use the dots over here that you see and the lines on the lane to aim and to see where to throw their balls in order to get a strike. So hi, I'm at my final activity of the day, which is Starbucks, because I'm really tired and I just want a cold drink. So yeah, thank you for watching Mr. Faiz, and to anyone else who's watching this. Yeah, I had a lot of fun doing this video and I hope to get as high marks as possible. So yeah, and yeah, Imal is here, my other co-star, and Bharatan is gone, he went back home. And yeah, that's all for this video. See you next time. Bye! Bye!